Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you fragrances that get me a lot of compliments. And a lot of compliments for me. I'm going to get into it in a little bit. But what I wanted to do is, it's been almost 2 years since I did a video where I shared with you guys fragrances that got me some attention and compliments from people in my life and random strangers, and I thought it would be fun to share with you guys more fragrances in my collection that get me a lot of compliments. So if you'd like to know what those fragrances are, then keep watching. Now, there we go. Hi. A few disclaimers. First, compliments for some people are very important, and for other people, they don't care. I particularly don't care. I like to smell very bizarre. I like to smell a little bit off of brand, a little bit weird sometimes, most of the time. So I'm not used to getting compliments. And actually the fragrances that get me the most compliments, like the fragrances on my last video, are very beautiful fragrances, but some of them were very generic, some of them were very lackluster in regards to being like creative, really amazing, oh my gosh, what is this masterpiece. They were just kind of like your everyday run-of-the-mill, really nice, mainstream, beautiful scents. I mean, not all of them, but some of them were. So I wanted to kind of like talk to you guys a little bit about compliments before I get into the list. Obviously, if you guys are reading this, you probably already read my comment below where it is time-stamped. Definitely, if you guys do not want to sit through this little kind of discussion part of it, you can just jump right to the list. But I wanted to touch on this really quickly in the beginning. Compliments to me are something that is wonderful. I love getting compliments on my scents. I'm very happy about it. It brightens my day. It's fantastic. But most of the time, the compliments I get on my fragrances are usually from like my mom or my sister or my friends, and very rarely my husband, or if I'm hanging out with other fragrance enthusiasts. So a lot of time the compliments that I get on my fragrances, if they're not from my mom, my husband, or friends or fragrance enthusiasts, it's on more mainstream designer scents that again aren't olfactive masterpieces, but they're generally really beautiful. But they are can be a little bit generic, not all of them, but some. And that makes sense. If you're going to get somebody who's going to stop you and compliment you, it takes a lot of gusto. It takes a lot of guts to really stop a stranger and give them a compliment. And I feel like a lot of times, if you're going to get someone who's going to stop you, you have to wear something that's going to catch more attention and people are going to be able to understand more, so that maybe if you come across that one person who has a little bit more courage to say, I like the way you smell, it's probably not going to be something that's crazy bizarre or some outlandish niche artistic experience. It's probably going to be something, you know, on my last list, think along the lines of Dolce & Gabbana Le Bleu or Christian Dior Addict. A lot of people know those scents, a lot of people can understand those scents, and they feel comfortable complimenting those scents. Not so much some of the more crazy bizarre things that I am known to wear. So with this particular list, it is a mix between really easy to understand fragrances. Some of them are a little bit different, a little bit out there, but not crazy. But I don't want you to think that just because these are the most complimented fragrances, that this makes these better than other scents. If you are looking for compliments, if that is something that's very important to you, I guarantee you're going to get some compliments with some of these fragrances. They're just designed to really appeal to a lot of different people in a positive way. But some of these scents are a little bit different. Some of these scents are a little bit, you wouldn't think that that would get me a compliment, but in a lot of cases, where I get most of the compliments from, for me personally, are my friends and my family. So if I sit here and say this gets me a lot of compliments, I want you guys to know that's coming from mostly friends and family. If I say that it gets me compliments from people I don't know, I'll try and give you guys the scenario that it happens, because it's probably 1 or 2 compliments, because in more cases than not, I'm staying at home wearing these things because I am a hermit. I rarely leave my house because I have like social anxiety and it takes a lot to get me out of the house. So anyway, enough blabbering. Thank you guys for sitting through this little disclaimer talking about it. And obviously I timestamped it so you don't have to sit through this if you do not want to, but let's get into the fragrances that get me compliments. I want to throw this one out of the way, just throw it out of the way. This does get me compliments from strangers. I've gotten not the most compliments out of this from strangers, but I've gotten several. Normally when I'm waiting in line to buy something, or if I'm at a fragrance counter and I'm wearing this, I do get people who ask me what I'm wearing and they really like the way that it smells. And it's Aventus. This scent is designed to just appeal to the masses, but in a really beautiful way. And I don't mean that in like a generic way. I think that the way this fragrance is just, it smells, it grabs your attention. It really does. And it's that kind of really beautiful, somewhat acidic, tart pineapple note with the smokiness of the birch. It really grabs people's attentions. They're not used to that composition, or they weren't really used to this composition yet. So a lot of people really grab it. It's designed to just grab people's attention and to command it to some degree. Now, some people think this is generic, some people think this is overhyped. Can you get the same experience from clones or things that are really, really close and dupes? Probably. I'm not going to sit here and say, but I don't have any of those, so I can't sit here and say this dupe, this clone gets me attention. I have Aventus, so I'm going to tell you Aventus. It's just the composition of this scent is basically marketed and designed to appeal to a wide variety. It's why it's the most popular fragrance on the market currently. And I do get a lot of compliments. Now, it's funny, one of the compliments I got was when I was waiting in line to purchase something, I think it was from TJ Maxx, and I was wearing this, and usually when I wear this, I kind of like douse myself in it. And the person was like, "You smell good, you smell familiar. I can't put it up, but you smell really good." Like, we were just kind of like when you're in like one of those like really long checkout lines forever, and you're like talking, and it's just really, you know, like you're personal and you're like, "Hey, what do you do? What are you buying? Oh, you're buying that for your son? That's so cute. I'm getting this for my nephew." You know, like it's, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, it's Aventus." And he's like, "Aventus for her?" And I'm like, "No, it's Aventus." He's like, "That's what it is." He's like, my best friend, that's his signature scent. He's like, "I couldn't place it because you were a woman and you were wearing it, but you smelled so familiar and I love the way it smells." And he was talking about thinking about buying a bottle for him, but it was really expensive, and I was kind of talking to him about it. But I get compliments on Aventus from people. Usually it's in a conversation setting, or if I'm at a fragrance counter, if I'm talking with Larry and I spray myself with it, people will be like, "Oh, smell this on her." Like, "Oh wow, that smells so good." You know, I do generally get compliments on Aventus. It is a compliment getter. Now, another scent from Creed that I actually get a lot of compliments from, and my husband's actually complimented me on, is Sublime Vanille. Obviously, I'm running really low. This scent, I reviewed the scent. If I have reviews of any of these fragrances, I will link them below. This scent is really beautiful, and I love vanilla. And vanilla is one of those notes that people can really understand and grasp, so people feel comfortable complimenting you on. And this is just one of those scents where it's such a beautiful and flattering vanilla scent that I think people feel really comfortable saying, "You smell really delicious." It doesn't sound creepy because it's usually in a setting when you're talking to somebody and you're like, "I like your shoes, I like your bag, I like your glasses, you smell tasty." It's not so much like some random stranger on the street is like stopping you and like, "You smell delicious." It's not like that. But I do get a lot of compliments actually from other women on this scent. They say that it smells really feminine, but they don't like really fruity, feminine scents on the market, and there's just something about this that they really enjoy. And I find that most of the time what they're really liking is that kind of added citrus note in there, which kind of brightens up the vanilla. Which, if you didn't know, if you're cooking, I mean, most of you probably do know, if you're cooking or baking, to kind of liven and brighten up desserts so that they're not too overpowering, so that they're not too heavy, adding citrus zest is something that is definitely adds a brightness to scents and adds a brightness to cooked foods, and you can definitely get that in here, and I think that's what people really appreciate. So this is a vanilla scent that people compliment me on when I wear it, generally really enjoy, and it's just really beautiful. Now, a scent that I probably get complimented on this, not because it's an amazing fragrance, but because of the sheer amount of times that I wear this scent, that obviously it's probably the most complimented because I wear this fragrance all the time. and it is Eccentric Molecule's Molecule One. I bathe in this stuff, you guys. It is so good. Now you can probably get the same experience from ISOE Super or dupes or things like that. Again, since I wear Eccentric Molecules, I'm not going to sit here and say the dupes get me compliments. I can really only say that this does, but I know that you can, you know, you don't have to buy the hype in the name of Eccentric Molecules. In any case, I wear this one, I layer this all the times with different things. This is always in my bag, so if I'm out and about and my fragrance only lasts a few hours but I'm gone for longer, I will spray this on. And the most compliments I get from this is when I'm in the restroom because of that. So normally what happens, I get complimented on this scent in one specific area, in one specific part of the country, in one specific location, because that is where I wear this the most. So if you guys are in the Broward County, South Florida area, if you're somewhere around Delray, there's this really beautiful Japanese garden called Murakami. It's a museum and it's this beautiful garden, and my husband go there like several times a month, and we walk around, and it's just really beautiful and idealistic, and it's just really pretty, and it's where he proposed to me. It's a really special place for us, and a lot of people really enjoy going because it's really pretty. But I sweat. I perspire. I'm not one of those very dainty. I carry wipes and stuff with me and deodorant. I'm very mindful of it. But generally after we walk around, maybe we'll walk around twice or 3 times, my fragrance is worn away. I've sweated it off and I want to reapply something because we might go to the mall or we might go get dinner or something or meet up with friends, and I will reapply this because even if there's a faint leftover bit of scent on me, this generally pairs well with just about anything. So I will douse myself in the bathroom with this, and there's always like 1 or 2 people in the bathroom and they're like, what is that? And I'm like afraid that I've offended them or I'm gonna give them a headache with my perfume, and I'm like, oh, it's Eccentric Molecule. So like, that smells amazing. I've never smelled anything like it. And I'm like, it smells like wood chips. Smells like pencil shavings. But I think that there's just something really complimentary about the scent on human skin, and that when I'm applying this, people feel comfortable in a bathroom setting, and you know, women's bathroom setting, to be a little bit more chatty. But I do get a lot of compliments from adorable little old ladies on this fragrance. They're so sweet and just very generous with being positive and giving compliments on this scent. And it's just this one bathroom in this one museum in South Florida that I get so many compliments on this fragrance. Couldn't tell, this is a very chatty video, but I kind of wanted to chat with you guys rather than list them. I don't know, it's like whenever I do top 10 lists, I like to be chatty with you guys, just because I like it to be more personal than just listing. And there's nothing wrong with those listy videos. I think those are really comprehensive and fantastic if you're trying to make a few decisions on purchases, but I don't think anyone's really going to purchase based off of my recommendations. I figure you guys are watching for entertainment. So a fragrance in my collection. This house I think I have more fragrances from this house than any other house, and it's House of Matriarch. And the fragrance that gets me the most compliments is Coco Blanc. And she gets me compliments actually. I'm very happy when people tell me I smell amazing when I wear she, but I really wanted to kind of focus on this scent. Coco Blanc is a really beautiful gourmand, and it has chai spices in there. So if you guys didn't know, chai tea is basically tea. But in the Western countries, when we consider chai, we're considering that kind of spiced sweet tea. So for us, chai spices is a spiced tea. And so the spices in here are just really gorgeous, paired with that beautiful rich white chocolate and vanilla. And I love her vanilla, you guys. And there's just something about this scent on my skin specifically that just smells amazing. So this is a fragrance that my husband will compliment me on. This is a fragrance that my friends will compliment me on, that my family will compliment me on, just because on my skin, for me, this just smells really, really amazing. It is the gourmand scent. It is on the milky sweet side, so if you're not into those scents, I don't think this would be for you, but gourmand scents and really sweet scents generally tend to garner a lot of compliments, and this one particularly on my skin gets me attention from people that I know, but I'm always very grateful, especially when my husband says, you smell good today, because that is rare. That is so, it is like a unicorn in this household. And that is one of the scents where he says I smell nice. So I definitely have to give that a nod and say thank you, Christy, for having my husband not hate the way I smell like one day out of the year. Now this is a newer scent to my collection. I've had it for a few months, and immediately, anytime I wear this, I get asked what I'm wearing. My husband immediately gave me compliments, and anytime I'm around anyone that knows me and they smell this, immediately they're like, that is amazing. And this genuinely, like, this bottle was given to me, but genuinely this scent has probably skyrocketed to one of my most complimented scents ever. And it is Rosé All Day from Gallagher Fragrances. This scent is just amazing, you guys. It smells so good. The apple and the plum with the spices and the tonka. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. This would be, if I smelled it, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think he would have had my card. And if it costs like double or triple the price of what it is, because it's really well priced, still would have bought it. Amazing. And my husband loves that scent. Doesn't like, doesn't tolerate, loves. So that is a huge compliment. And I do get compliments from strangers. I get compliments from family members. I get compliments from friends and things like that. It's just generally a fragrance that gets me attention when I wear it. And I'm so thankful for it because it is gorgeous. Now, if we're going to talk about a fragrance that is kind of a little bit not weird how I get compliments, but it's random when I get compliments, but I do get complimented all the time, is Tiempe Passate, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Antonia's Flowers. This scent is exquisite and completely underappreciated. Like, this is one of the scents I am surprised does not have more people giving it like a cult following and have more people singing this fragrance's praises. This is a stunning, totally underappreciated fragrance. This scent is amazing. And this scent smells so good on the floor, I don't know why. I keep pulling it off because I think it has a cap, but I keep forgetting. Just ignore that. I might edit that out. If not, a little Easter egg for you guys. In any case, this scent just smells so beautiful on the skin. It smells sophisticated, floral, playful, fun, old world. Like it smells, I think when I reviewed this, I was talking about how it smells like that really glamorous old Hollywood actress sitting at her boudoir with like her powder and her lipsticks with like her feather boa and a long like cigarette on a stick. And this is what she's spraying on just so she can smell fabulous while she's sitting there. That's what this smells like. It's amazing. And when I talk, and this is again another scent that's more along the lines if I'm waiting in line someplace, this is a scent that gets me a lot of compliments from women because they're like, you smell really good. What are you wearing? I've never smelled that before, because the floral and that kind of mature sophistication is really easy to understand, but it is just different and unique enough to gather attention. And so this scent isn't crazy loud, but it does definitely, when you're talking to somebody and you're closer to somebody, it does grab their attention, and it's really fantastic. Next fragrance, I could pretty much have every single fragrance from this house on here because just about any time I wear any fragrance from this house, I get compliments, and I compliment myself. I'm like, I smell amazing today. And it is from Maison Lancome. I think you guys knew that was coming up. Oud Bouquet. The first compliments I ever got on this fragrance was from Carlos, Brooklyn fragrance lover. We had just, I think we picked him up at the airport. It's when we first met over a year ago, like a year and a half ago. And we were going straight to dinner, and I had worn this scent because we were meeting other frag heads and we were gonna have a really good time and smell fragrances and talk and have dinner and hang out. And I had like layered this on my body. I think I just sprayed myself like 8 times. And he's like, what are you wearing? You smell really good. And it was Oud Bouquet. And every time I wear this, I get compliments from somebody I know, from somebody I don't know, from a waiter, from somebody at the checkout line. I get a lot of compliments from complete strangers. Now, the strangers that I get compliments from are people that work in the service industry in regards to being people who are waiters or they're cashiers. And they're very polite, so I don't know if they're being polite, but I do get a lot of compliments from other people. And generally overall, this is just an outstanding fragrance. So very complimented scent, really, really gorgeous, and I love it. I don't know what he's doing, but here he is Pancakes. He's my most complimented kitty. You guys compliment him more than any other cat because he is in my videos more than any other cat. Now this next scent, particularly this version, gets me more compliments. I'm gonna go into why I think. So again, this is gonna be a long chit-chatty video. I got a kitty, I'm always excited, and he's here with me. I love Pancakes. I have such a connection to this kitty. Maybe I'll tell you the story about how I got Pancakes one day. Maybe I'll do a video on my cats. Do you guys want to see a cat video? If I did a non-fragrance related video, if it was about all my cats, all 8 of my cats, I'd be more than happy to. Anyway, this scent is Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum. Now I'm going to put this down because he's literally nuzzling my hand and I will drop it, so I don't want to drop that. But basically what it is I think the reason why I get the most compliments with that particular scent is because it's not as loud and it doesn't project as strongly as the Eau de Parfum. And I think that when it comes down to really loud fragrances and very strong fragrances with a very pronounced sillage, it depends on the environment where you wear them. If you're at a club or you're at a party or you're dancing or it's in the social engagement, I think people feel more confident saying, your fragrance smells amazing. But I feel like if your fragrance is a little bit too loud and you're in a setting where it's probably not appropriate or people aren't expecting it, people feel a little bit less likely to compliment you. So I think the reason why I get more compliments on this than the Eau de Parfum is because the people that are complimenting me are usually other frag heads. Usually I'm at a fragrance counter or I'm at an event and I'm wearing the scent and people are like, you smell really good, what are you wearing? And it's just generally people who appreciate fragrances and understand fragrances and are more often than not more comfortable with giving compliments on fragrances rather than the really loud version that I wear to the grocery store. And the really loud version that I wear to the grocery store. And so people I think are less likely to compliment the girl with the crazy loud sweet fragrance and more the girl that's wearing the more understated version of it in a setting where they feel more comfortable complimenting me. My whole life is filled with cats, you guys. Pancakes. But both versions I get a lot, and I mean a lot of compliments on, but generally overall I get more compliments on the Extrait. Now these last 2 fragrances, I'm going to bunch them up together. I don't know what he's doing. These last 2 fragrances, aside from one of the fragrances on the first list, which is Rose Essential from Bulgari, I get a lot of compliments on rose fragrances. I really love rose scents and it's a really easy to understand, very familiar scent, and people have a lot of scent memories attached to rose, so I think people feel a little bit more kinship with rose scents. But these 2 particularly get me attention from my husband, get me attention from friends and family, and there will be some occasions where I'm out, you know, like a woman will stop me, or if I'm talking to someone, they'll be like, you smell really nice, what are you wearing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And these 2 scents are, this is Aerin Rose de Grasse. This is probably one of the most beautiful rose fragrances on the market. It's absolutely exquisite. And Roses de Chloe from Chloe. Now both of these scents are very romantic rose fragrances. There's a beauty and a clarity to them. I find Rose de Grasse to be a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more complex, but still at the same time it's a true rose fragrance. And I find Roses de Chloe to be a little bit more light, whimsical, and ethereal, but it's still very much a rose scent. And I think that if you want to get a lot of compliments, if that's something that's really important to you, I think finding kind of like your holy grail or the best rose scent that works with your body chemistry is a great and easy way to garner compliments. And again, for some people, compliments aren't important, and for some people it is. If that's a reason why you wear fragrances, because you want to grab attention, if it's like wearing a really beautiful pair of shoes or having a really nice handbag or getting your hair done really nicely and you want people to notice it, if fragrances are one way that you want to gain compliments and attention, I think finding a beautiful floral scent, probably a very non-evasive, true to rose scent is a great way to do it. But any case, guys, those are my 10 fragrances in my collection on top of the ones before that get me the most compliments. Again, like I said before, most of the compliments I get are from friends and family and other fragrance enthusiasts, but there are occasions where there are random people in the wild who will stop me and compliment me on my fragrances, and I'm always genuinely really excited to get those compliments. But I did want to remind you again that just because I get complimented on these fragrances doesn't mean that they're generally overall good for anybody. A lot of it has to do with body chemistry, a lot of it has to do with situation, and most often than not, fragrances that get the most compliments are designed to be a little bit more mainstream and crowd pleasers. Do you see the kitty ears? I don't know if they'll be in there when we edit. But just because I'm sitting here and telling you that these are complimented fragrances, don't blind buy. Don't ever blind buy based on anybody's reviews, specifically YouTube reviewers. Definitely be your own advocate. You guys know what works best for your skin. You guys know if you think something is worth it. So I'm just sharing you guys fragrances that I get a lot of compliments on. But again, that doesn't mean that it might get compliments for you, or it might smell, you might open it and be like, oh, this isn't as nice as I thought it was going to be. Kind of just wanted to remind you guys of that. But I'd love to know what fragrances in your collection get you the most compliments. Do you have experience with any of these fragrances? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, pancakes. Aww. Bye. Bye.